Hi, I'm Holly.
And I'm Horace.
And together we are
Travels with the Big Guy.
We are here in Merida, Mexico. We are making a series of informational videos geared toward the senior traveler like us, whether you're traveling already or getting ready to travel.
Today we want to talk to you about 5 mistakes we made when traveling to Mexico. We're both experienced travelers. We've traveled internationally many times, but this time we allowed ourselves either through overconfidence or too much dependent upon technology. We were blinded, during this planning and travel.
Yes, I call this video our walk of shame. We had so many months to plan this travel, and yet we made so many mistakes that a novice traveler may make. If you're planning on traveling or you're already traveling, then stop whatever you're doing and watch this video and see what you would have done differently, if you would have done it differently.
And having said that, Holly, we want you to understand that anytime you travel internationally, it requires careful planning. Hopefully, by watching this video, you will learn from our mistakes. So, let's get started on our walk of shame.
Mistake number 1, Horace.
Using your credit card miles versus buying a ticket outright. First of all, let me put a qualifier in there. I'm no subject matter expert on reward cards or travel cards or anything like that. But let's talk about what we have. We have a rewards card that travels us for travel. We got a lot of miles built up from our past travel. So I thought in order to save money, we would use our travel miles for this trip that we made to Mexico. Even though I looked and saw other airlines that we could fly for low price and get there a whole lot faster, I chose to use our travel miles, which really you have to compare, because our travel miles, it took us right at, to travel from Austin to Merida, Mexico. We started at 4 a.m. in the morning. Yes. We didn't arrive until 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay, think about that. Going from Texas to Mexico, and it takes almost 13 hours, 12 hours flying time. Yeah. That's totally ridiculous. So what we want to say is this, I recommend do your research and compare.
Yeah, weigh the pros and cons.
Yeah. Holly, what's number 2?
Number 2 walk of shame mistake involves electronic boarding passes versus a paper boarding pass. We thought we were being proactive, loading our airline app and flights onto our smartphones. Electronic checking was so easy until we landed in Mexico City, heading for our Merida destination. Once we got the security checkpoint for our connecting flight in Mexico City, we were denied entry. There was no day on our phone digital boarding pass. So guess what we didn't have with us?
We didn't have that piece of paper boarding pass or a written itinerary.
And I'm the one that usually preaches about printing stuff out. But we had to leave security, go back to the ticket counter, explain to her what we did, get a boarding pass printed out, and then we could head back to check-in. The good thing was we had a 2.5-hour layover.
So, Holly, what would you recommend to people for number 2?
I don't care where you're flying, print out an itinerary and get a paper boarding pass. That's just me.
What happens if they have to go through security and they're having a connected flight?
That's true. I mean, there have been points where we did not have any connection with our phones. So you always have that pen and paper as your backup.
And you might miss a connecting flight if you have to go through getting there.
True.
So let's talk about mistake number 3 that we made, that we never should have made. It's foreign currency. If you're traveling to a foreign country, we just assume that every place takes a credit card. Let me just say this for the record. If you're going to a high tourist area, they're probably going to take your credit card. But we put ourselves in the heart of the community, where in Mexico it's a cash economy.
Yeah. And to be fair, we did try. We tried our best to find currency that we could get a travel currency exchange in Austin.
And you're right, Holly. We did.
We tried.
There are many ways to obtain foreign currency. You know, you got your foreign currency exchange. The ones in Austin, of course, closed because of the pandemic. You have your banks and you have it online. However, we bank with a credit union and they don't handle foreign currency.
And the larger banks that handle travel, currency for travel, require, at least the ones we checked into, they all require you to set up an account with their bank. And we just flat refused to do that. We like our little credit unions. So
Yeah.
that
So,
wasn't an option for us.
bottom line, folks, we traveled to Mexico without any foreign currency, which is not a good idea in any country you go to. Once we arrived in Merida, we struggled to find foreign currency exchanges, ATMs, where we could actually get cash and move around. We recommend that you purchase your foreign currency, whether it's online, whether it's at your bank or joining a bank, or a foreign currency exchange before you make your international travel.
Number 4 mistake in our walk of shame. And I just can't believe you did this. All my fault. I'm just going to say this was my fault. Don't walk past baggage. So we arrived in Merida, exited the plane, and I was in the lead. Horace was following me, pulling the bags, whatever he was doing, but I was in the lead. And when I got off the plane, I just followed the trail of travelers in front of me, right out the front doors of the airport. Yes, we went right past baggage claim.
So,
Before we realized,
bottom line,
screwed
if
up.
you pass baggage claim, even if you've left your baggage, they're not going to let you back in, okay? That's a security thing. So we were lucky enough to find someone that was bilingual, that spoke the language, that helped us to tell the people at the airplane counter
what to tell the
problem,
security,
to tell the people
person.
what the problem was.
So, our mistake was not looking for the baggage claim. I think I remember seeing a baggage claim sign, but I was following the people.
So what do you recommend to the people?
I would have baggage written on a piece of paper in case there is a language difference, so you could at least check with the gate when you come off the plane to see what baggage is.
That's
Just
a
need to
great
be
idea.
alert, be prepared. I really can't believe we did this, but
And I'm gonna say one more thing. Even if you do go to baggage, this is a tip that I used a long time ago. Do something different to your bag. Put colored tape on it. Add a tag that's a bright color, because the manufacturers make a lot of gray bags, a lot of black bags. They pretty much all look alike when they're going around the carousel. So do something to make it easily
to
identifiable.
make it pop out. Okay, mistake number 5 to our walk of shame. Horace, I'm gonna let you handle this one.
Oh my goodness. If this hasn't happened to you, you are so lucky. We frequently use credit cards to make purchases when we go, but this time we were still in the United States. The first thing, when you take that that credit card out of that RFID holder, no telling what could happen because you don't know who's standing behind you, beside you, and what they're thinking or doing.
Or who's standing at the next gas pump at the gas station while you're pulling that card out to buy your gas.
So, true. Our cards were compromised, but we were able to get them.
2 of them.
We were able to get them canceled, before they made additional purchases.
But the notices didn't hit us till we were already in Mexico.
And where did they tell you to send our cards to?
And the bank said, oh, we'll send you replacement cards to your U.S. address. And again, we were in Mexico.
So here's what we're going to recommend on our mistake number 5. Before you leave the country, contact your credit card company. Ask them, if something happens to my card, how will you get me a replacement card? That's very important because if you're depending on your cards, to get you back somewhere, going back to the States to pick up a card may not be an option.
Yeah, so I guess the big learn off of this is from now on I will be using cash at the gas pumps in the States, and I will be using gas to get my caffeine fix at the airport. Because you never know who's going to be standing next to you with tech-savvy folks out there. You don't want to be buying coffee from the next 300 people, so
I agree.
be prepared.
Anyway, thanks for joining us today. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button below.
We would like to hear from you regarding this video or any lessons learned about traveling that you would like to share with us.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time
On Travels with the Big Guy.